All right, everybody. So again, Kevin Daisey, Array Digital. Today I'll be talking about something that we've done within our agency, more on the retention side and converting our customers that we bring on into promoters. And so we've put together a process that we follow, and I think it's important for us as a business to not just sign a client, but to keep that client long-term, have the relationship there. And not that, we want also 5-star reviews, we want referrals. Our business grows that way. So I just want to talk about kind of how we put this process together. And now it's not just kind of something we kind of do ad hoc, it's actually part of our process. And so I think anyone should be able to take some of these things, whether it's a product or service that you're offering, but your customer is very important. And the longer you keep them, the better you can do as a business. So I have this graphic I can put together. This is kind of a snippet of the process that we do. And so the biggest thing I think most people miss is the first step, and that's identifying who their ideal customer is. When you're small or startup, or when I started my company and it was just me in my house, you took on anything you can get, and you do whatever you can. But then as you grow, you start to define, what you're really trying to do. So, and if you're a larger business, or even the outdoor stuff like that, you know who's your ideal customer. Do they have the budget? Is it something that they're going to back out of 3 months into it? Is what you have going to help them? If it doesn't, if you know it, you're kind of not sure about that, you might be setting yourself up for a bad customer, legal problems, bad reviews, whatever it might be. So for us, we need to identify that, make sure that the client meets those needs or meets those check marks, and then we feel comfortable moving forward with them. So to have a promoter as a customer, it starts from the first time that you had an interaction with them. So if it's a lead or a referral, how do you respond quickly and try to help them sets the tone from there and out. So there's a whole process. There's a guy that has a book out. I can't think of his name right now, but it's on this 90-day customer engagement. And there's something about the 90 days where they can either love you or hate you. And if you get past that mark, that they can really become this promoter of a client. They love you, they refer you, they talk about you. So there's kind of what we have put into our process. So have a 15-minute call, find out, make sure they're ideal customer, set the right expectations, be transparent with everything. Some of this stuff is just core values that you should have. But write them a letter after you talk to them. Send them a nice card. Send them things that they're not going to expect, right? You got to stand out. And then, even though you say, I start with make sure when you start talking to them that they're the ideal customer, during the process of talking to them, putting a contract in front of them, if you find out that, hey, they're not really an ideal fit, or there's something there that's not meshing, don't push the deal. Again, it's easy to want to sell something and to close a deal, but try to make sure that they are still a fit and they're going to sign that document, that they're going to be a good customer. Okay, so once you sign, that's when all the work begins. And I think we've all been there. You're busy. You sign a customer. You hand them off to the other team. You forget. You don't follow up after that. You don't. Write them a letter. The deal's done, right? So now it's on to hopefully the production team or whoever you have is going to be awesome from there. But for me, you want to send them a handwritten card, like I said before, something in the mail, because every day, we get emails, all this stuff that we're inundated with. To get a physical mail, a card that you sign and write, stands out. Maybe put a gift card in there. They just signed a deal with you. $5, $10 gift, Starbucks, something like that. Inform your team. So introduce them to the team members that they're going to be working with. Send out a nice email or something like that. Here's all the people that you're going to be working with. I'm going to introduce you to billing. For us, it'd be Jake, our digital marketing manager, our project managers. Make sure that they're aware of who these people are, because they're going to be actually talking to them. And then prepare for onboarding. Celebrate with your team. Hey, we just signed this new client. It's awesome. Take a photo with them. If it's a deal that you can share, some companies may not be able to, but they might want to share it. Tag them on social media. Tag their company on it. Now, on the other side, you say, well, other agencies, like for us, might see that, and then they know who our clients are. Well, If they love us, they're not going to leave us for that reason. So we're public about everything. This is our client, and we're going to take care of them. And if they leave us, that's our fault. So onboarding. So for us, I feel like this is something we had to work on for quite a while, and we now have a pretty good process behind it, but we always have to be working on this. Onboarding is the biggest problem I see with a customer being unhappy or not a promoter. Billing, you get them set up and they get a bill at the wrong time, or it's not the right amount, or whatever. That can be a huge thing right there. Let's see. Obviously, any meetings, you don't want to be late. Make sure they know they're coming to you if you're going to them. Like I said, capture it. Capture the moment. If you have a kickoff, do photos, do video. We like to do all these kinds of things. It makes the client feel happy to be there and excited to be working with us. And then exceed expectations. So you got to be like Flash over here. Always don't be just on time, but have urgency. If they want it by next week, do it before the same week. If you get to a meeting, be early. Do extras. So if there's extra services, maybe it's a gift card, maybe it's a surprise. Do something that's going to make you stand out, and do something above and beyond what they've already agreed that you would do. Right? They sign a contract, so you're going to do this. They're going to pay you this. But do something that's beyond that. 30-day check-in. So after I sign a client, hand them off to my team. We have a kickoff. I say my goodbyes, but not really, right? So for me, I'm the account manager for that client. Well, as the project gets kicked off, now they're talking to other people. I'm kind of out of the mix, but we don't want to lose, the pulse that we have on that client. So I do a 30-day check-in, and I get a task that's created automatically for me. And I call that client, and I'll talk to my whole team. Tell me everything about the client. Is there any issues? And I get that out pretty much right away. And then I'll call that client and say, hey, I want to check in, how things going. Is there any issues? Is there anything we can improve on? And say Jake says, well, we kind of screwed up on this, or there was a delay here. I already know that, so I'm waiting to see if the client will come out with that. If they don't, maybe I'll mention it and say, hey, well, I didn't know there was this issue. Now they know that I'm on top of it and that we know what's going on. So that diverts any bad situations that may come out of it. If anything does happen that's bad, billing, something didn't go out, maybe it's a social media campaign, ads didn't go live, whatever, we have a full lessons learned, and then we document that process, and then we tell the client, hey, we went through this with the team, we document everything that went wrong, and here's the action plan to make sure that doesn't happen again. So we basically come clean and make sure that they know we're on top of it. So at this point, we know they're fairly happy. We send out a survey called a Net Promoter Score, which that'll be on the next slide, I think, where we sample that client. How likely would you be to recommend us to a colleague? And it's a 1 through 10 scale. And if they give us a 10, then I'll get that and it comes through. If they give us a bad score, it also they can leave a comment. They'll tell us why. I'll call them and talk to them why, what happened, and try to see how we can improve. If it's a 10, then I'm going to ask them for a 5-star review, and I know they'll give us one. I don't ask them for a review if it's anything below an 8, because we don't want a bad review that wasn't going to be there anyway. So, and then you can ask for a referral. So if you know they're a 10 on the NPS, which is the scoring system we use, hey, now we've been working with you. It's been a few months. Would you give us a referral? Give them a referral if you can as well. So repay the favor. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day and not try to refer your clients' business as well. We know a lot of people in business in our area. We can refer our clients as well. So, but then ask them for a favor now. You've been doing a good job. They love you. They're happy with you. Say, hey, is there another company like you that we could help the way we're helping you? And every time we get a referral, we get a 5-star review every time. And then to back all this up, we do a 90-day review. So every 90 days, we do a full sit-down with our team and their team, and we do a business review. So it's not just how ads are performing or how campaigns are performing. It's how is our businesses working together. Maybe it's billing, maybe it's this person, whatever. How can we improve it? And then what's the plan for the next 90 days? So we want this client to stay around for a long time. So now that they feel good, we got things out of, we talked about everything. All right, what's the next plan for the next 90 days? So now we have a strategy update, and then when you go forward for the next 90 days. Now, they might have signed a year or 2-year contract, but we still got to do these to make sure that everything's going smooth and the client's happy, right? And then upsell opportunities. So now you have this 90-day review. Now we have all the data, and we say, hey, this has been working great. You're still not advertising on Facebook because you didn't let us sell you that in the beginning. We really think you should do that. And they say, you know what, you guys have been awesome. It's great. We're going to add to the budget, and we're going to spend on Facebook now. So whatever it might be, but this is a good chance for upsells, opportunities. Now that client's trusted, they trust you, and you can sit down with them. This is Net Promoter Score. I would, anyone that has a business or has clients, check this out. There's a lot of different platforms for it. We use Retently, I think, Retently. It's very easy. All you do is put the customer's email in there, and you send it out, and they get a single question. How likely are you to refer us to a colleague? And it's a 1 through 10. Promoters are only 9s and 10s. These are passive, meaning they're like, they're okay. Anything below that means they'll go out of their way to talk bad about you, give you a bad review, and maybe not publicly at a 6 or so, but they're going to, if someone says, hey, would you recommend this company? They're probably not going to say good things. I think world-class companies are in 70 or above. We're at a 60, 61. We started out at a 0 or a negative. So we had to do this to every customer we ever had. And we had to improve, right? So now we're at around a 60. And we're working on that every day. So key takeaways for what I got to say is focus on your ideal customer. Don't sell stuff to people that don't need it or are forced into a deal. It's just not going to work out well for you. Have a solid onboarding process no matter what it is. Make sure that even like an Airbnb, like we went and stayed at one here today. Not the best process to get in there. We didn't know what was going on. The instructions to get into the place, it was just not well done. That reflects on what we're going to say about that Airbnb, right? So onboarding process is huge. Exceed expectations, over-communicate. No one's going to be mad if you call them or email them to death. They might say, hey, we're good, whatever, but that's fine. Just over-communicate everything, and that's never going to hurt you. Give back where you can. Send referrals. Send gifts. Go out of your way to show up at their office. I know we have, our employees will go on, trips with our contractor clients or HVAC clients and get, to understand the business better. So we do things like that. And then track and improve. So NPS score or other things. You got to track your relationship with the client. And again, we want long-term relationships so that we're continuing to build the revenue of the company. And then we want them to grow so they give us more money. So it all comes back to tracking that and then holding and retaining those customers. So that's all I got. You got a question?